Anthropic might be testing Sonnet 4.8 internally, GPT 5.5 just beat Claude Mythos, there's a new secret model being tested on OpenRouter called Alpha, and Codex just turned into a super app. So let's get into it. It looks like Anthropic might be working on developing the next Sonnet class model. How did we get here? Because during this week, in a private Discord, Claude Jupiter surfaced based off of a model leak that people noticed. Now, when that model leak happened, people didn't really know what that could mean, but based on what we know so far and based on public information, during the Claude Code source leak that happened a couple of weeks ago, we knew that Opus 4.7 was in development and we saw it being launched last week. Now, Opus 4.7 was a mediocre drop based off what people were saying and how people reacted, and Sonnet 4.8 was also in that Claude Code source leak, so there's high confidence that this model is already either being tested or ready for deployment soon. And then seeing this codename Claude Jupiter show up made that confirmation a little bit more clear. And this is not the only account posting about this. Testing Catalog reported that Anthropic started testing a new Claude Jupiter version 1P model with the red teams. Now, if you don't know what red teams are, think of red teams as AI experts or groups that deliberately probe and attack models to uncover vulnerabilities like jailbreaks, harmful outputs, biases, or safety failures before the model is ready for public release. It's basically ethical hacking for LLMs, and Anthropic is doing this now on their new Claude Jupiter version P model. Could this be another cybersecurity model? Could this be a variant of Claude Mythos? Or could this be Sonnet 4.8? We will only find out when this model is actually released, but we know for sure that a model is being tested right now and Anthropic might be dropping soon. GPT 5.5 might be as powerful as Claude Mythos. Yeah, OpenAI's GPT 5.5 is the second model to complete one of the 4 multi-step cyber attack simulation end-to-end, and the other model to do that was Mythos Preview. And GPT 5.5 is available for everyone, while Mythos Preview is only available for enterprises under Project Glasswing. GPT 5.5 achieved an average pass rate of 71.4%, while Mythos Preview was actually below it at 68.6%. And then GPT 5.5 solved a task that takes a human expert about 12 hours in under 11 minutes at a cost of $1.73. So the models are definitely strong, but what's crazy is that Anthropic, when they launched Claude Mythos, it was a model that was so powerful to launch, so powerful to put in the hands of, normal people, and it was so good at hacking things that it started breaking software, it started finding bugs in software, it started prompt engineering them and breaking things. But GPT 5.5 achieved that same level when it comes to cyber attack simulations, and this model is available widely. So is Claude Mythos a myth? Maybe. I don't think so. I think it's still powerful. Obviously, this is just one test and one independent institute called AI Security Institute that's publishing this. But we can see that these models are getting more and more capable, and the risks when it comes to cybersecurity are definitely important. Before we continue, we just launched the Universe of AI newsletter. If you want to stay on top of AI news without having to hunt for it, link is in the description. Don't miss out. And if GPT 5.5 beating Claude Mythos was not enough, Sam Altman just announced that GPT 5.5 Cyber, a frontier cybersecurity model to critical cyber defenders, is coming in the next few days. And then he's also taking a little bit of a shot at Anthropic by saying that we will work with the entire ecosystem and the government to figure out trusted access for cyber. We want to rapidly help secure companies/infrastructure. So they're trying to make this model more available compared to Claude Mythos. So they are trying to compete with Claude Mythos. They are trying to compete with that area of cybersecurity as well. So this space is heating up, and we'll see more and more models being fine-tuned for cybersecurity and more risks being highlighted and more vulnerabilities also being discovered with these LLMs. So this is an exciting space, but I'll be monitoring it as well, and I'll show you guys the results as they come through. There is a new mystery model being tested on OpenRouter, codename Alpha. Now, nobody knows at this moment or has an idea who this model belongs to, but it's claiming to be a high-performance foundation model designed for agentic workloads and is supposed to be good at tool use and long context tasks with code generation, automated workflows, and is compatible with Claude Code and OpenClaw and other mainstream productivity tools. Based on the last sentence, I have a feeling that this could be Minimax maybe dropping a new model, Minimax M2.8. It could be one of those open source labs or one of the Chinese labs dropping a new model, because last week DeepSeek version 4 came out, and it might have put pressure once again on the labs in China to produce something to compete and this could be, I have a feeling, a new Minimax model. Don't hold me on it. Obviously, we'll find out soon after it's tested a couple of days after, because OpenRouter usually releases who they were working with if the Frontier Labs allows it to show who the model belongs to. Owl Alpha might be a model from either GLM, maybe Minimax. I have a high feeling Minimax, but we will see when it comes out. We have another update from the Codex team today, and this update is basically Codex for work. If you think about Codex at the moment, you probably think of it as a platform mainly for developers, mainly for software engineering tasks, and mainly for coding. However, today's update changes that. Today, Codex team launched a new update making Codex a platform that could be used by a wide audience. Anyone in professional work, even finance professionals, anyone doing any type of work can now use Codex. This has been OpenAI's goal for a couple of months now, where they're transitioning Codex into a super app to compete with Claude Cowork, Claude Code, and the Claude app itself, which has a similar macOS platform that people have been using for more than just programming. Before, Codex was mainly used for programming, and it still is at the moment, but this update, what they're doing is that they're allowing people to connect tools that they actually use in real work. Think of Teams, think of Slack, think of slideshows, PowerPoint, Excel, everything like that is now going to be done through Codex, so teams that are not software engineering focused can also use the Codex platform to do things like research, planning, and create docs, slides, and spreadsheets and more. When you actually open Codex, the setup feature lets you choose your role, and it guides you through connecting apps like Slack, for example, the Google Workspace, or Microsoft 365, depending on what company you work for and depending on your role. And with Codex, everyone now has a personal assistant. So Codex can summarize data from different apps and docs, plan next steps for you, draft the work, and organize research or create a project plan. Let's say you are working in a finance role. You can have Codex go through your spreadsheets and PowerPoints, create a summary of what those PowerPoints and spreadsheets are conveying, and have you ready for your meeting before you even open your laptop. They're also letting you see what's happening while Codex is doing everything, including a task progress and the files and tools they use and what it's supposed to do next. So you have full transparency in the whole workflow. So you're not kind of working with the black box. You have the idea of what Codex is doing. You can guide it to specific files, specific apps, and because of that, you have the ability to steer how Codex works with your applications. You can go from something simple as a draft to a complete deck, and you can also review the work as it takes shape inside Codex. So it's kind of like a personal assistant or an intern that you can hire for yourself, but obviously it's an AI agent. You can also open up the file and ask it to change things so you're not stuck with what it produces in one generation. You can keep tweaking it and you can keep working with it. To me, this kind of is a useful feature for a lot of knowledge workers because knowledge workers have probably not used Codex as much as developers have. So by launching these features and by launching these app connections into Codex, you're opening up the Codex platform to a whole new audience, which I think is good for OpenAI because this will definitely increase the Codex downloads. So Codex is trying to become your personal assistant, and you can also automate recurring tasks. So let's say you have a repeat work that you do on a monthly end basis. A lot of finance and accounting professionals can relate with this. During the month end, there are recurring tasks and files you're working with. You can automate some of that work and have Codex have it ready for you before you go in, so it can speed up your whole workflow. If we look at how teams have been using Codex, you can see they've been using it in training, even reviewing the pipeline, using it as a project tracker, also using it as a weekly brief. So turning your calendar, messages, and documents into weekly brief, helping you prioritize your tasks, helping you understand what you need to work on at the moment. And there are more and more possibilities that they provide. This is a good win for the Codex team and OpenAI because this is making Codex more like a super app and more closer to a direct competitor to Claude Cowork and Claude Code. But obviously, let's see how many people actually adopt the Codex pipeline that are not developers, and we can see those results as they come out. But that's it for today's video. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, follow our new newsletter as well at universeofai.beehive.com, as well as subscribe to the main channel World of AI, and support us on X by following the Universe of AIZ as well. Until then, I'll see you guys in the next video.